All right, so the Trump administration is threatening to freeze over $2.2 billion in grants to Harvard over campus activism. So let's first read this, just a part of this AP article real quick, and then we're going to watch how Fox News comes out and defends this along with our favorite congresswoman. You'll see who it is in a moment. In fact, actually, you might know just by the thumbnail. Anyways, let's read the article. The federal government says it's freezing more than $2.2 billion in grants and $60 million in contracts to Harvard University after the institution said it would defy the Trump administration's demands to limit activism on campus. To hold on Harvard's funding marks the seventh time President Donald Trump's administration has taken the step at one of the nation's most elite colleges, an attempt to force compliance with Trump's political agenda. 6 of 7 schools are in the Ivy League. In a letter to Harvard Friday, Trump administration had called for broad government and leadership reforms at the university, as well as changes to its admission policies. That's really sketchy, man. Like, we're talking about probably just straight up, like, denying Palestinians or some shit like that. Or prioritizing applications of Jews. Or literally, this is Trump DEI. This is Trump woke. Taking what they thought DEI was and doing it, but for only groups they like. Because I got news for you, DEI did not include Biden mandating that we hire people because they're this color or have that disability. No, it was all about access to jobs, not hiring bias. Please do the research on it or just shut up about it. Oh my God. The federal government said almost $9 billion in grants and contracts in total were at risk if Harvard did not comply. On Monday, Harvard President Alan Garber said the university would not bend to the government's demands. The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights, Garber said in a letter to the Harvard community. No government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue. And he's absolutely right. Could you imagine? I mean, they already kind of think Biden did this, but could you imagine if Biden was going around to all these institutions, agencies, schools, whatever, states, and threatening to cut off federal funding if they didn't comply with DEI to the letter? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine Biden doing anything half like this? Like threatening to, like, revoke funding from schools if they didn't change their admission requirements to fit what he wants. Like, could you imagine? Oh my God. Like, these people preach big government and we like small government, bro. Democrats are big government. Like, when Democrats are in office, and then when Republicans get in office, they're the biggest big government people you could ever imagine. People who will be in your doctor's office, in your internet history, wanting you to provide ID if you want to watch porn. Like, what are we doing? And then cracking down on all these states and colleges if they don't get rid of DEI or they allow trans women in sports. Like, oh my God. Big government much. All right, let's watch Sean Hannity here with our favorite congresswoman. And wow, I'm going to be interrupting this a lot because this is just a boatload of lies, and this is just terrifying because Fox News is like the #1 news network, and this is what a lot of Americans are consuming and just believing.
Now, earlier today, Harvard announced that it will defy President Trump's order to cut DEI programs and expel pro-Hamas protesters, putting the school's federal funding at risk.
All right, we are 10 seconds in. I also have the speed turned up a little bit. Harvard announces it will defy Trump's order to cut DEI programs and expel pro-Palestinian protesters. Notice how Sean Hannity didn't say pro-Palestinian. He just went straight to what? Pro-Hamas. Oh God, just how they frame things is just, it's working. It's really being like imprinted in a lot of Americans' minds. Like, people who watch this garbage, like that these people are pro-Hamas.
Sadly, this is not the first time schools like Harvard sided with, a designated terror organization like Hamas. You might recall. Take a look.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements. If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into conduct
that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
All right, here with reaction.
So, for one, those clips are taken way out of context, as Fox News likes to do. And even in the context that they're sharing, you want to know why they say it matters on like the context? Because it does. They aren't saying, yeah, it's fine to say death to Jews and all that shit. Like, they're saying it because the government, this is bipartisan in the government, by the way, will deem almost anything as anti-Semitic and akin to saying like all Jews should be dead. Like, that is why. And if you look at the full context, you would understand more. But anyways, that's just a small part of this video.
Reaction, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. Would you have gotten the same answer if it had to do with transgender or LGBTQ plus or a race issue? I tend to think not, Congresswoman.
Dude, social issues like LGBTQ and all, like, it just lives in these freaking weirdos' heads rent free. It's like all they can think about. Like, they think we're the ones that bring it up, but like they are the ones that are obsessed with it. So ironic.
Of course not, Sean. And think about that. That hearing occurred during the Biden administration. And what did we see from Joe Biden? Zero action to protect Jewish students on campuses and to hold these universities accountable.
That's not true. Biden, there were a lot of crackdowns at the direction of the Biden administration on these protesters, which I disagree with, because they do, like, they'll have one person out of 1,000 paint like a pro-Hamas logo or some shit, and then they're like, see, the entire crowd is all anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas. Same with the vandalism and all that. It's crazy. So Biden is not a saint here. The only thing it was a good thing Biden didn't crack down and take an authoritarian freaking stranglehold on every college in the country and dictating all this stuff he wanted to dictate. That's what he didn't do. But he didn't just sit idly by.
2 of those 3 university presidents were forced to resign, and there was an additional 4 from other universities that were forced to resign. But President Trump correctly made the correct decision to defund these institutions. If you look at what they required for Harvard, it was protection of Jewish students. It is making sure that we are getting rid of DEI, which by definition is anti-Semitic, and instead
DEI by definition is anti-Semitic? Have you lost your damn mind? None of these people know what DEI is. DEI would protect Jewish students, Jewish groups. DEI is meant to protect all these marginalized groups. Oh my God. Oh, it's like I always say, they are getting rid of DEI that is inclusive and meant for any kind of marginalized group, whether it's religion, race, disability, etc. They're taking away all that and making it for groups they like, aka Jewish people and Christians, because there's also an anti-Christian bias task force. Oh, how do people just... Oh, we're so screwed as a country. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Instead, Harvard is acting more entitled than ever. President Trump made the direct and correct decision to defund to the tune of over $2 billion. These higher ed institutions that have fundamentally lost their way, U.S. taxpayer dollars should never be propping up anti-Semitism, and the vast majority of the American people support President Trump and support the work that we are doing in Congress to hold these higher ed institutions accountable.
Okay, if as a country we want to, help kids get through a local community college that's relatively inexpensive, or maybe a trade school, I think American taxpayers would be far more accepting of that. Why should one taxpayer dollar go to...
All right, give us free college then. Give us free college. Give us free public education. All right, do it. No, you won't, because you don't believe in that. You don't believe in actually helping the average American person. Like, Jesus Christ.
These elite institutions and so-called institutions of education, when they have billions and billions and billions of dollars in endowments, why don't they pay for their own scholarships? Why are they relying on, hardworking carpenters and nurses and bricklayers and everybody in between, landscapers, to pay for somebody's Harvard education?
That's not what they're doing. They go to research grants for, like, I don't know, cancer research.
You are spot on, Sean, and the vast majority of the American people do not want to prop up these institutions. I myself am a first-generation college graduate. I graduated from Harvard. That's clearly not the achievement. The achievement is maintaining my common sense and my conservatism and my strong values with which I was raised in, and strong moral leadership. There is so much opportunity across this country for the next generation, whether it's in the workforce, whether it's in this manufacturing renaissance that is going to happen under President Donald J. Trump, whether it's community colleges or trade schools, vocational programs. That is a pathway to success. Higher education has fundamentally lost its way, and it's increasingly out of touch, and the tuition rates go higher and higher. So we need to defund across the board, and President Trump...
Tuition rates are getting higher and higher. There's all these problems. College is not accessible. It's too expensive. All right, give us free college. Do something about the high tuition rates. No, your solution is to defend them all because of anti-Semitism? You think all these problems are caused by anti-Semitism? Oh my God.
Is rightly holding these schools accountable.
All right, Congresswoman, great job as always. We do appreciate you being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
I'm gonna put a grocery bag over my head. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. That is the garbage that is being spewed to like majority of Americans every day. That was probably the like lightest propaganda clip I could find for Fox News. It's disgusting. Like, we are just a disgusting country. Republicans are the biggest hypocrites and projectors in the world. They don't care at all about free speech. Not at all. They don't care about states' rights. No. They just like to say Democrats are the ones infringing on rights when they are the ones infringing on your rights, trying to control curriculums, admission processes, who can and can't play in sports. This isn't government issues, okay? Like, God. It's unreal. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.